because the power was out of pocket. 25 minutes in the person's house. As soon as it was out, the person was, hey, I'm going to Ghana. But this was the person who lost out of the business because under some previous government, for 4 years, he couldn't get electricity to do that. He couldn't pay for fuel for generation. Sometimes you wish that we could leave that period for 1 month and come into this period so that people won't talk again. But I cannot wish that for Ghanaians. We want the lights to be on when you want it. When you switch prayer, it counts. When you switch off, it goes. But we want people to be more considerate in using energy efficient devices so that we don't waste power. But when you look at the system energy losses per the ECG document they gave me, when you look at collection losses, the first red line up, they've been increasing the collection losses from 2017 to 2022 or 2023 as of today. Nobody understands this, right? Because no matter what we are doing, no matter how much you collect, you are losing it through these losses. It's becoming a sticky point, and we have to find a way of dealing with this. Because if you look at how much we're paying for excess capacity and look at how much we are not collecting or we are losing through revenue collection, if it was a private industry, I think every day people will be sacked. Because you can't lose 24% or 28% of what you are selling. So if I was a Fanta seller, from every 100 bottles I sell, I cannot account for 28. How are you going to get profit? How much is on a Fanta bottle to make profit when you can't account for 28? But that is the situation. That is why working with ECG, we are doing a lot of transformational activities with them, digitizing the system. ECG was hacked there. We don't talk about it. But ECG was hacked. Whether it was external or internal, it was hacked. And there was a lot of losses that came out because of the hack. And it's all because we are introducing innovation into the system. Now, nearly 70% of the people are paying through the ECG app. They are bringing out more meters, working with the companies that produce meters in Ghana to bring out more meters. All because if you lose over 2 billion or 2.5 billion Ghana cedis, which is equivalent of about $220 million, you very soon lose the moral right to ask Ghanaians to pay more. For those of us who are willing to pay, if our bills start going up, we get very, very, very worried. But so we are handling it through what ECG, the work ECG is doing.
I didn't quite catch that. Please.
So when we started this revenue drive, unfortunately, coincidentally, ECG remembered that there was a building called Ministry of Energy. And I understand they came to cut us. But the irony of it is that the Ministry of Energy is on prepayment meters. Every government public thing should go on prepayment. The exceptions should not be the rule. Right? Hospitals will go on prepayment, except dangerous areas in hospitals like theaters and things. But the mortuary has to be prepayment. Because they make more money in the mortuary than anywhere in the hospital. Especially if you are in Eastern Region mortuary or Ashanti Region mortuary or Greater Accra Region mortuary. We put dead bodies in fridges for a very, very long time. And it's never been free. So if you look at one of the businesses people are doing, they are mortuaries. They are putting a mortuaries. Every government hospital, private person will come and say, can I come and put a mortuary here? Because Charlie, we want to bury our dead with face coat and everything. So they need to be refrigerated. So ECG, in order to account for electricity it puts in an area, is doing what we call boundary metering. Right? So that they know that if a boundary is, say, within a region, they know that in the region called Ashanti, they brought, say, 1,000 megawatts of energy. That 1,000 should equate to a certain amount of money, and that they are following up to see why are they not collecting that money. If they can account for the 1,000, ECG will be fair and right. All my agencies are fighting. Okay. The big agencies I have are fighting with ECG because they all want money. So everybody should contribute to ECG being able to collect more money and reduce the ability of losing it through technical losses. So they finished 9 operational regions. They have started with the district metering, and they are thinking of how to deploy 16,000 distribution transformers. Because when you are in the rural area and don't have light, it's one thing. But when you are in the urban area and your light is coming faint, it's another thing. So in certain parts of Accra, it's just because the lines are congested, the transformers are overloaded, and so it's doing cutouts in very areas. Like I mentioned, a lot of areas in Accra that is over congested, and in Kumasi, especially in the business areas. And we are trying to improve the capacity of the transformers there to be able to serve Ghanaians better. So I've talked about we do the revenue task force. We have been able, through the little that ECG have done, because we expect them to do more, to improve the revenue collections from in a month from 480 million to 1.1 billion. As soon as my agencies here, everybody writes a letter, pay me. And one of my agencies here is here, he's writing, because I know that today you write to me that ECG owes me, and I mean GMPC, ECG owes you a lot, right? Yeah. So when you hear them praising themselves for 1.1 billion, you want it to reflect in your accounts. So, but there's a lot that ECG has to do to make the system even better. Through the use of the app, like I said, we are collecting record amount. Ghanaians are willing to pay, especially if you give them the correct service. I don't know, Ghana is one of the few countries that people go and queue for, come and put a prepayment meter in my house. Actually, people are paying bribes to get prepayment meters. And yes, so we cannot provide that prepayment meter. And prepayment meter means the person has even paid before using. I don't know the business model that nobody will love like that. So ECG must improve on its things. And they are doing very, very well, going digital, using app, going from house to house. They even sometimes send the minister wearing a reflective jacket to people's offices, especially the recalcitrant customers. Then they show my nose and my face. But it is in the work and in the interest of Ghanaians, because ECG is a key thing in the value chain of power system in this country, that if we don't all work together to improve ECG, we should forget. We will start losing power, not because it's just because ECG can collect. It can pay its upstream customers, and we are short in that sense. So we should all help ECG, and we are helping ECG improve their, like I said, going through what we had with them with the revenue task force and loss reduction strategies. They need meters like crazy. I think I heard ECG say that they are short of about 1.5 million meters. People who are not metered alone are hovering around that figure. And those who have been on meters that have also gone their sell by, they've expired and they are using it. I don't know how the energy goes through. But there are lots of parts of this country where most of the meters don't work. They are supposed to provide energy and record, but I'm not sure what they do. So they are now deploying meter management systems and on smart meters, so that either remotely they can actually tell how much you are consuming. They have even tried in collection bring a flat rate that if they don't connect you every month pay 400. That is a difficult one that I don't understand how they are able to do that. Because once the person puts his name, maybe, but they are doing everything to collect as much as they can for the energy that they distribute. And interestingly, Ghanaians are also participating. This flat rate metering is bringing hundreds of thousands of people onto the ECG system who had never been on ECG system. They don't have meters, but they've assessed that 1 month maybe you pay 400 cedis. And people are willing to pay, because people don't want the electricity for free, because they know it is not for free. It's up to ECG to build them correctly, and Ghanaians would pay. We've done a lot, we completed a lot of distribution transformer systems and supply stations in Legon, in Konfanoche, in the military hospitals and the hospitals generally that we are building. You cannot build a hospital and not put a transformer or a substation there, depending on the size of the hospital. And when you look at the agenda, 111 government is rolling out. It will need a lot of transformers and a lot of generating station, substations to enable them to function effectively. Ecg sister company Netco. We are also constructing more substations in Sunyani, Techiman, and Wa, switching stations and improving the remote digital footprints of Netco system. Netco, even though it's small, even though it's bleeding, even though it's on the only VRA keeps Netco where it is, it also covers the largest part of the country. So Netco is really suffering, and the reform agenda that cabinet has approved might mean we have to link Netco and ECG to have one distributor in the country so that they can support each other and roll out better distribution systems in the country. So even though Netco is bleeding, a huge number of houses in Netco areas were not paying electricity. So we went there, and I was hosted by the Yana. It was a lovely ceremony. I enjoyed the Yana ceremony than the revenue tax force I went to inaugurate, because that was full of phrases. If you go and do a revenue tax force, people look at you double. Go Beji Isika. Like I said, we've done well. That is the Yana, the overlord of Dabo, when we went there. And we went to Yendi to switch on lights. We have extended electricity to lots of parts of the north, and we are still doing. I think that we have an aim, a mission, a vision in this country to put electricity in every part of the country, and we were in Yendi to do that. My smoke, I want the new one. I want the new ones with different colors. So Fatih, give me different. Next slide. You see what we are doing with our electricity access rate. I think we are 88.88, not 0.85, 88.85. And our goal under the SDG and our climate agenda is to get to at least 90 by 2030. Ghana is doing well. 90 by 2030. That is what we set for ourselves. But we do want that by his time, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo to exit, we should have hit the 90. MPP government delivers and delivers very well. So Dumsoor, like I said, we've gone past Dumsoor. We are at Tokra na Kaniayade. So you have to find a better term. We've gone past Dumsoor. We are still working on the systems, like I've said and I've acknowledged. But the reliability of the electricity that we are enjoying has never happened in the history of this country. So the generators would continue to refurbish and maintain. I just realized yesterday when I was being educated that the retrofitting of VRA machines in Akosombo and Pong alone has extended the longevity of the plant for another 30 years, right? And putting new turbines and making it better even generates a little bit more better electricity. Let's clap for VRA. It's doing very, very well. The power plants, we have a certain committee as we speak. They are in Akosombo. They are in Akosombo planning, because different IPPs have different maintenance schedules, and because we are producing, the demand and supply is on edge, right? We are even demanding more than we can generate or supply now. So we set up a committee with all the players in there to tell us where they want to maintain, so that government can make arrangements, and if we have to procure liquid fuel, we can see the lag time and procure it so that we don't get massive disruptions, right? We've had a private sector industry player developing a huge refinery just next to the nation's refinery in Tema, right? The last bit they want to do is to connect to the West Africa gas pipeline for gas. They've written that they want to do it this coming Sunday. And it might mean that they have to shut gas for that period they want to do it. So if we are going to do that, if we have the resources, we had to buy liquid fuel so that we could give it to those plants that are dual fired to be able to. But we are working with them so that it will lead to very minimal interruptions to the Ghanaian citizenry comes up. But when they do it, we also get the benefits of a refinery in country, refining petroleum products, decreasing the pressure on the foreign reserves or the dollar, and it all goes to help Ghanaians. And the many more Ghanaians also get employment. So sitting in the Ministry of Energy, we have to balance and make sure that whatever we do incrementally helps deliver a better, reliable, more efficient, affordable system to the Ghanaians. So we are going to support both private and public to deliver. So
thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe,
and click on the bell for more updates.